All right, so let's talk about the power of why. And chances are, as you go through this process, that most people are actually going to be wrong about their why. It's not so much that you understand your entire life's mission right now. It's that you have some sort of driving force. And that's what this power needs to be. It needs to be your moral compass as you make subjective gut decisions in your life. What is going to lead you and guide your business morally, ethically, etc. That is what this why is designed to do. And hopefully you can simply see the power of that. If we think back to Alice in Wonderland, where Alice sees this cat up in a tree and she has to decide which path to take. She asks the cat, which path should I take? And the cat says, well, where do you want to go? Well, I don't know. And then the cat says, well, it doesn't really matter which path you take then. That is the power of why. Why is that big vision, not necessarily final destination, because you never really achieve your why, but it's that guiding force that takes you and moves you in the right direction. Because the reality is, in business, we get inundated with literally hundreds of thousands of people, agencies, softwares, clients, customers that all want our attention, and we could spend all of our money and all of our time chasing all of those things and possibly not get anywhere. So it is really that moral qualifier to your business. And I want to simply share my story of how I've come to my why, which, to be honest, has evolved over time. But remember, your why is what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's not necessarily meant to be one thing forever and ever and ever. And for some people, they have that. It's super clear and it's super magnetic and super powerful. But for me, it's evolved, and I think it will continue to evolve. And hopefully I will settle on one that will drive me for the rest of my life and continue to be super magnetic and pull people to me because they want to be a part of my life's mission. But I remember when I was living in Utah, I was working at a pest control company, and I was on my way to work one day in my little green Toyota Camry, and there was some construction on the freeway. And so we were in this one-lane road with these concrete barriers on either side. And there was a truck in front of me, 3 or 4 trucks in front of me, where a huge piece of sheet metal flew off of the truck and started hitting all of the cars, and just caused everyone to slam on their brakes. And I slammed on my brakes, and literally the car in front of me, I thought for sure I hit that car, and I slammed on my brakes. I didn't hit it. It's not one of those lanes where you can like go to the side, you know? And I just remember like having this huge breath of relief, literally closed my eyes, and next second I know, boom, I'm like passed out, and I wake up. I'm in the back seat of my car. The chair that I was sitting in broke, threw me in the back seat. I remember I had like one of those floor mats that office people have for carpet, so you can roll your chair around, that have the bottoms like pokey. I remember having like indentations in the back of my head because I had one of those in the back seat, and I slammed my head into it. And I was still on the road, and I didn't know what happened. So I, like in shock, got out of the car and looked around and realized that I was hit by a semi truck. I stopped in time, but there was a semi behind me I didn't know about, I wasn't paying attention to. They couldn't stop in time. They ran right into me, hard enough that it broke my seat and threw me into the back seat. And I remember like it was cold outside, and I was trying to button up or zip up my jacket, and like I like couldn't do it. It was like the weirdest feeling in the world. But I was able to get back in the car and drive to the next exit and park. And I remember laying back in my chair, which was broken, so it was flat at that point, and just like kind of going in and out, kind of like passing in, passing out. And the truck driver was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally fine." And then a few minutes later, like, "I don't know if I'm fine." So an ambulance came and picked me up. And anyway, I share that story because that was kind of a turning point, one of the turning points in my life where um, it it kind of screwed my head up. You know, it gave me a lot of mental issues, a lot of memory issues, short-term memory issues. And one of the issues that it gave me was if someone gave me a task list of 2 or 3 things that they wanted me to do, I like couldn't hold on to it in my head. Like it was too much. And it would just make me super, super anxious, and not like anxious like a to-do list does still to me now, but anxious in a super, super unhealthy way. I don't even know how to explain it really. But I ended up having to quit my job just because I couldn't focus. I didn't feel like I was able to actually contribute the way that the company needed anymore. And I ended up leaving, not knowing what to do with my life, and starting my own pest control company. And didn't have any customers, didn't have a way to provide for our family. Sold the first home that we owned and was burning through that money like crazy fast. And I knew that I needed to provide for my family. So I would suit up and go knock doors. And I remember after that just being in such a low point in my life that I would put on my uniform. I'd go sit on the couch and just like be paralyzed. Like I like physically could not bring myself to stand up, go get in my car and go knock a door and talk to someone. Like I was that paralyzed. I was that scared. I didn't trust myself at that point in my life. And all of these things that were going through my head of like, you need to do this because of this, all of the whys that I was going through, none of them were like, you need to provide for your family. You know, that's why you need to do this. Like none of them worked for me, not even close. And I remember my wife getting frustrated, you know, because I looked healthy, right? I didn't have any blood, I didn't have any broken bones. Like I should have been able to go and just tackle the world. And I just couldn't do it. And it got to the point where things got really, really rough for not just me, but in our relationship. And I remember one night, late at night, I remember talking to my wife, and I can't remember the conversation exactly, but I remember her saying like, "Tyler, I don't trust you." I said something to the effect that asked her, kind of like Aladdin, you know, puts out his hand, "Do you trust me?" You know, expecting Jasmine to take it, and then they get on the magic carpet and ride off into the sunset or whatever. I had one of those moments with my wife, and her holding out my hand, not really, but and she didn't take it, you know, and to her husband says, I don't trust you right now. Like you're not doing what you promised you would do in our relationship. I love you, I support you, but this isn't working. And I just remember the pain that I felt in that moment. And I knew that I needed to get some help. So I actually went to therapy and really dove into my head and really dove into what is it that I am looking for in my life. And through all of the ups and downs, I was able to prove to myself that I could perform. I made some strategic business decisions, but it all started in my head, and it has to start there. For me, my why that got me out of bed was that I needed to prove to myself that I am a capable husband and father and provider. And that was enough for me to get out of bed and go knock a door or go buy a company. And that has evolved over time. Now, my why is, and I don't have it written out, which is stupid because I'm going to recommend that you write it out. I do have it written out, just not here. And I'm already talking to you. But it's something to the effect of my why is to tap into my full potential. And I believe that I can only tap into my full potential is I help others achieve their full potential. And as I see other people unlock their full potential, it's going to help me find hidden parts of my potential that I didn't know were there. And to me, that's my life's mission. I want to be a much higher version of myself than I am. And when I wake up in the morning and I think about, oh, I don't want to work out today, I immediately think about that you need to go see what you're really capable of. And I want to help other people achieve that as well. So this section is really just my story, hopefully just to help something click in your head to realize the power of having a why. And hopefully you know yours, or we can go on a journey together to help you achieve yours. It's going to come not through doing this course with me. It's going to require a lot of thinking time. So as we go into this next section, before you answer that last question, which is what is your why, ponder on it. Now let's go get it.